The air hung thick and heavy over the narrow streets of the old quarter. Gas lamps flickered with a hesitant glow beneath towering balconies draped in Spanish moss. Night had settled like a velvet cloak, smothering the city's usual clamor. Only the soft echoes of footsteps and the distant toll of church bells remained. Beneath the gnarled limbs of ancient oaks, shadows shifted with a life of their own. They wove between the wrought iron fences that guarded the silent cemeteries. The scent of damp earth and blooming jasmine mingled with something darker. A faint whisper of incense, the hint of herbs burned long ago. Two friends, Mara and Elise, moved carefully along the cobblestones. Their breaths were shallow, hearts quickened. The stories they'd heard tangled with the night around them. They had come in search of something whispered by locals. A presence older than the stones. A spirit who never truly left. The lanterns cast uneven pools of light that danced and twisted as a breeze stirred the heavy air. Faint strains of distant music, mournful trumpets and soft chants seemed to rise from the very ground beneath their feet. The women paused at the edge of a wrought iron gate. Beyond lay a maze of tombs and statues weathered by time. A sudden chill crawled up Mara's spine. She caught the faintest movement in the corner of her eye. A figure draped in flowing robes, vanishing like mist among the graves. The air thickened. The whispered scent of sage and myrtle filled her lungs. Footsteps echoed behind them. Neither spoke. The weight of unseen eyes pressed down with heavy solemnity. The past and present seemed to blur as the women stepped deeper into the quiet graveyard. Here, legends lived not in words, but in the lingering veil between worlds. Mara's fingers brushed against the cold iron gate, each ridge and twist etched with the slow decay of centuries. The stone beneath her boots was worn smooth by footsteps long gone. Each step echoed faintly in the stillness. The lantern's light flickered. A breeze carried a faint whisper, half wind, half something else, that rippled through the cemetery's ancient monuments. Elise's breath hitched. A faint melody floated up from somewhere deep in the shadows. It was neither music nor silence, but something that wove between both, a slow, rhythmic chant, barely audible, threading its way through the thick night air like a secret being spoken only to those who listened. Above them, moss hung heavy from gnarled branches. It swayed softly, as if stirred by an unseen hand. The scent of damp earth was sharp, mingling with wild herbs, lavender, rosemary, and something more pungent, elusive, like a memory lingering just out of reach. A figure appeared briefly through the veil of fog curling low over the ground. The shape was indistinct, ethereal. Robes flowing, hair like dark river water, shifting with the breeze, yet never truly touching the earth. For a heartbeat, Mara saw eyes that shimmered like polished onyx. Centuries of sorrow and power held within them. Then the figure was gone. A cold shiver crawled across Mara's skin. The silence that followed pressed down, deep and heavy. The two women exchanged a glance, a mix of wonder and unspoken fear. Neither needed to say what hung in the air. They had crossed a threshold into something older than the city itself. The faint sound of footsteps approached from behind, slow, deliberate. Neither Mara nor Elise dared to turn. The feeling of being watched tightened around them like a noose. "Stay close," Mara whispered, voice barely a breath. They moved forward, deeper into the labyrinth of stone and shadow. The night seemed to pulse, alive with whispered secrets, heavy with the weight of histories best left undisturbed. Somewhere nearby, the faint flicker of a candle caught the corner of Elisa's eye. A small flame bobbing in the dark, held by hands unseen. The air grew thick. The scent of burning herbs wrapped around them like a cloak, suffusing the space with strange electric tension. Time stretched thin. Moments unraveled into eternity as the veil between worlds grew thin. As they reached the far edge of the cemetery, the city's distant sounds began to bleed back in. The muted hum of late-night voices, the faint clatter of footsteps on cobblestone. The spell lifted slowly. The night air grew lighter, but no less charged. Mara and Elise stepped back through the iron gate. The weight of the unseen presence lingered in their bones. No words were spoken. The night carries whispers of those who walk between worlds, guardians of secrets older than memory itself. Her presence is not born of malice, but of immense power, a timeless force reminding us that some spirits hold dominion far beyond the reach of fear or understanding. To tread the shadowed paths where she lingers is to step lightly upon sacred ground. Respect is demanded. Silence is sacred. For those who listen with open hearts, her veil is not a curtain of darkness. It is a bridge to something far deeper, a legacy woven from strength, sorrow, and an unyielding will to endure. Beware the reckless curiosity that seeks her out. Some doors, once opened, cannot be closed. Honor the stories. Honor the past. Walk with reverence, lest you find yourself caught forever in the endless dance of her veil, wandering between worlds with no way home.